This week's three-notched weekly preview after a road trip, 2 games on the road. Dukes return home for games against South Alabama and Appalachian State. We'll start with South Alabama, coached by Richie Riley. They are 8-7, 204 in KenPom. It's a team that is kind of has a 1-2 punch between their 6'3 guard and their 6'10 forward, Isaiah Gator and Julian Margrave. But South Alabama's defense has been a little bit underwhelming to start this season. They allow 53% shooting from inside the arc, and they actually have a pretty good 3-point defense, but that might be more so because their inside defense is so bad that teams just decide to, go down into the post and just play within the arc. So this might be just a chance. Feed it down low to Carey, to Biggerstaff. Carey had a great Southern Miss game. And you let them go to work on the inside, and you just kind of take your chances when you can from the 3-point line. But this might be just a game you win from inside out and do it that way. South Alabama's offense leaves a lot to be desired. So JMU's defense might have an opportunity back at home in front of I would assume, a pretty good crowd to start to build some momentum back up. What do you expect out of this game against South Alabama?
Great matchup for JMU. I like this one. Not too worried about it. South Alabama's had kind of a tough season. You look at their wins this year, they really don't have any good ones that stand out. Struggled a little bit here in Sun Belt play at 1-2. They can defend the 3. That's sort of the one spot that looks like they're maybe hanging in there, but defensively they struggle in a lot of different areas. Offensively, they haven't been that good, except they don't turn it over a lot. So maybe there's some things there where JMU thrives on forcing turnovers, but it just doesn't feel like a great matchup for the Jaguars. I think this is one that JMU can win and win convincingly, especially at home.
And then that takes them into the Appalachian State game where they take on KenPom 100. App State, they come in 11-4. Dustin Kearns, I don't know which one he prefers. He's their head coach. He's been there for a few years, and he's starting to turn App State into a real powerhouse within the Sun Belt. And they rely on great defense and kind of questionable offense. And because of that great defense and questionable offense, it's led to some head-scratching losses this season. They've lost to Northern Illinois. Let me get my Cardinal Rose directions right. Oregon State, UNC Asheville, and Troy, all of which are quad 4 losses. So at 11-4, you got to imagine that they need to win the Sun Belt tournament, but we'll get to that when we get to the Sun Belt tournament time. Key players to watch. I'm keeping my eye on Donovan Gregory, Trevon Spillers, and CJ Huntley. CJ Huntley is a 6'11 forward who has an offensive rating in the top 70 in the entire nation. And Bickerstaff and Carey, I don't think have really been, or Wooden for that matter, haven't really been tested by a fantastic big this season. And this may be their first big test of the year, trying to slow down CJ Huntley. App State is a great team down low. They have the 18th best offense inside the arc and the 25th best 2-point defense in the nation. So a real kind of flip on its head. You go from one of the worst teams in the nation at defending inside the arc to one of the best. And that's when you're going to need your Michael Greens, your Noah Friedels, Julian Woodens to step up and start draining things from behind the arc. What are your expectations for this App State game on Saturday, the 13th?
That's spot on. They're scary down low. They have 100 block shots this year, which leads the Sun Belt. JMU, for comparison, has 53. They're swatting stuff. All right, so the Mountaineers are really, really good down low defensively. I think the offense is maybe a little underrated. I think it can do some nice things, especially in the post. They're tough down low. A lot of this is going to depend, I think, on how the game is officiated. I think it'll be competitive, and it's one, if they let a lot go down low, then yeah, JMU is going to need not just like a better than 10% 3-point shooting. They're going to need like 35% plus, I think, because if they're letting a lot of contact go down low, it's very, very hard to beat App State, considering they can block a lot of shots and they rebound quite well.
And you saw what happened this weekend when things got a little physical, when things tightened up inside the paint. Bickerstaff, Edwards, they kind of took a step back. Carey, though, was great. Carey 5 for 5 against Southern Miss.
I think if they let stuff go, it's going to be an incredible game to watch because JMU has the strength this year compared to some previous years to bang down low with a Carey and a Bickerstaff. I also think, given sort of the rivalry between the schools, the fact that both these teams look like they're among the best in the conference, it could get a little chippy. JMU is sort of like the last 2 games. I think they went 2 for 2 on chippy performances.
Yeah, and one of them ended in Quincy Allen starting a fight as he was in street clothes, and Justin Amati also getting in there in street clothes. Also, I love sports because of how just this might be a weird thing to say, how oddly sexual the words are that you use to describe. You gotta bang it down low.
There's going to be a lot of that, though. I would anticipate in this game. It should be the matchup. If you're going to watch like any JMU men's basketball games between now and March, just watch the 2 App State games at least.
And probably this one, if you're going to pick which one to watch.
I think so too.
This is probably, if JMU wins this game convincingly, what?
If you get the next 2, you go 2-0 on this homestand, I think you're looking at you put at-large conversation back on the table immediately.
Okay. Do you get ranked again?
They'll be close. They didn't fall as much as I would have expected.
To 28th, according to Shane Metlin.
Yeah, 28th there in the AP poll. So 3rd in receiving votes. They're close. I don't know if App State has enough like outside of mid-major followers to like really get people's attention, but you win a few more in a row, you could get back in the top 25 pretty quick.
All right.